Okay, we're back for part 2 of checking out and unboxing Moveworks in ServiceNow. If you haven't seen part 1, please go back and do that, as we are basically just trying it out for the first time. And I haven't looked at it before, or at least not before part 1, I haven't. And at one point I stopped because we were out of time. So I want to resume the labs that I have been provided, and because I'm just as new and ignorant about this product as many are at this point of time, because it's so fresh. We haven't seen it before, right? So I want to figure out what is it all about. How is it different from the normal AI agents in ServiceNow? And how can we all benefit from it? And where could it improve even? We need to be critical and, see where the value is. Sorry, I'm mumbling. It's early in the morning, early. Good morning to everyone. Let's just move on. Last time I didn't show you the lab text. I was more or less reading it out. So this time I'll do that. So I just had some issues sharing the lab text on when I was setting up everything. So I have it here. No, it's on docs.moveworks.com. Everybody can see it, but there's an AI assistant lab guide. And that's the one I'm going through at the moment. And we've gone through all of these points. I skipped a couple because I had issues. I didn't prepare. I guess that's just how we need to do these unboxing things. I don't prepare. So when you get to a point where it says, oh yeah, upload the file, I didn't have a file, right? So I guess we'll have a separate session where when everything is unboxed and ready, we'll go into specifics and check, interesting functions. Because what I see is after we've done the AI assistant lab guide here, as you can see, I haven't even shown the screen. Let me show the screen. Sorry, it's early in the morning. Good morning to everyone. Here we go. So let me start over sort of. So I've been going through this point in the docs.moveworks.com. There's an AI assistant lab and I'm going through those, right? So we've gone through all of these points down here and we'll come down to the structured data analysis. Which is where we ended part 1. Last thing we did was to look at web search via Quick GPT, basically showing us that it is possible to use general GPT knowledge and have it searched online for whatever. And our test was who is the CEO of ServiceNow, and it managed to look that up online and perform an analysis of my question. And we're down to structured data analysis. And to be clear, I haven't read the rest of the labs. I want to do this live with you, so you don't have to. Well, that's a joke. You have to try them out when you get access to this, right? My demo environment, my lab environment is of limited time. So I need to go through as much as possible until I get my more permanent demo instance, which I'm hoping I'll get within a few weeks. All right, let's just get right into it and let's try to keep this within a 1 hour video. If it's shorter, perfect. If not, then I'll have to stop and we'll make a part 3 as well. Structured data analysis. Structured data analysis equips the Moveworks AI system with the ability to generate and run code behind the scenes. Run code behind the scenes. That's interesting. To answer complex questions, especially those that require precise logic calculations and structured reasoning. So, if you ever try to have any GPT perform some math, like how many R's are in the word strawberry, you can see that, and you'll learn that language models aren't calculators, right? It's a prediction model based on statistical data, right? It tries to figure out the next token or the next word or the next line of a sentence or the next structure of an article. It tries to predict what's next. So if you give it some logical tasks that requires math or trends or whatever, it might struggle a little bit. but I do see that more and more, even AI agents in ServiceNow is introducing tools to help with this. So I learned that in AI agents, if you say, what is 10 plus 20? Sometimes it wouldn't be able to answer that. But if you said use math, you just say use math, it will trigger an internal tool. That's the math tool, and it will perform the calculations perfectly. So I'm just saying that the trend moving forward is not just to have a language model anymore, is to get more and more tools that will solve these problems that we do need these language models to sort of understand the logic and then perform the action. The point of an AI agent is to perform some action, not just have a GPT model in the background. We already have that other places, right? So when it says here, it's going to run code behind the scenes to answer complex questions, precise logic calculations or structured reasoning, including situations where a response contains a large data set. I'm very interested and I want to see how that works. So let's see, rather than relying solely on language predictions, SDA produces real-time Python code. It produces real-time Python code to interpret inputs, perform computations, and return accurate results. What does that mean, though? Does it mean that this... Let me just, think out loud. When you make AI agents in ServiceNow, you make tools, and like you say, okay, here's a tool, it's gonna do this, and then you instruct the agent through the prompt that you need to read my incident, or you need to trigger my workflow, whatever, and then you have to make the tool that does that. Does this mean that it's able to produce its own tools and trigger it? If that's the case, that's very powerful and immediately kind of risky. How would that work out? So very, very curious. Let's move on. Every SDA response includes a citation so users can inspect how the answers was generated. Of course, we need to have citations. We need to make sure the user can evaluate and confirm that it is exactly what they're looking for. With no citations, you can't really rely on it. So yeah, I'm pro citations. Okay, so here's a prompt. We'll just try it out. Compare the total interest paid on a $500,000 mortgage over 30 years at 6.5% APR versus a, wow, okay, so compounding interest, which is cheaper overall. All right, cool. That's something that if you try it out in any language model, it will have issues with that. I've tried it before, it doesn't really work, and you get sort of frustrated. So we're back in the lab environment. I'm gonna open my Moveworks. I'm gonna do full screen so it's easier. This is exactly where we left off in part 1. So I'm just gonna paste the text and see how it's gonna work. Really interested in seeing if you can see the thought process. So it's working on compare mortgage interest costs for 30 years, for 30-year versus 15-year terms. Okay, running the analysis. And I remember from last time we could open this more info and look at the process, the thought process a little bit. So let's see. Oh, so like I said last time in part 1, it's really fast. It's way faster than I was expecting this to be. It's really, really fast. So one of the best features of Moveworks is the speed, I would think. So, and I have thoughts about how they achieved it as well, but we'll get into that later. Okay, answer. So monthly payment, total paid over 30 years, total interest is this and that, and it has, analysis code. Okay, let's have a look. So it basically generated the code. Wow, that's cool. What I did, I used a standard mortgage payment formula to calculate the monthly payment. I'm not gonna read everything. Disclaimer, provides responses based on predefined lab resources. Yeah, it is predefined. We'll have to just take their word for it that this is gonna work outside. When I get a more permanent instance, we're gonna do more, specific, not lab-like tests, but it is what it is. This is what we got. So it made some code. Did it make the code? Most likely it did make the code and then ran it in Python, right? That is cool. Yeah, so it has the 30 and the 15 months here. And so if you know code, you can check the code, verify it, see that it looks correct, and if it's something wrong with it, you could probably tell Moveworks that it's wrong and it would correct it. No variables. So its output is this one, and it uses that. Okay, cool. Let's close this. And it has a response. That's basically how it did it. And this is the code. I like it. Let's look at the more info. Hoping to see some thought process. And where is it? Doesn't have it. No. Oh, here. The reasoning. Working on running analysis. Yeah, I think this is kind of weak, right? So I'm used to the AI agent process where you can see the exact thought process. So the agent will say, oh, the user wants this. That means I have to check this. Let me try. I'm missing some information. Let me ask the user. So you can see the entire thought process, and that helps out a lot when you're making the prompts. Of course, the difference here is that at this point of time, we're not actually making the agent. Moveworks is the agent, right? So we're not supposed to mess with it too much. Although I hope that at one point, or maybe it's later in the labs, we're able to configure it or change the behavior of the Moveworks agent. At this point, it is an agent, right? It's an agentic workflow that has a lot of access and some extra capabilities, like making tools is extremely powerful. And if they don't introduce that into agentic AI at one point, I will make it myself, 100%. Safe? No. Fun? 100%. Okay, cool. I like it. Let's move on to down here, and it's gonna have another one if I convert. I'm not gonna run this one. I just expect this to be working in the same way. It's gonna create some tool. Actually, there's a screenshot here. Whoops. Yeah, basically it's gonna do the same thing, right? So this is the one we tested out, and this is the other one. Yeah, it's the same thing. Cool, I like it. Moving on, Agent Studio use cases. Agent Studio by Moveworks. Is that what we just talked about? Agent Studio by Moveworks empowers developers to expand the capabilities. Well, there you have it, right? See, that's what happens if you do these unboxing things and you actually don't pre-check the labs before you start recording. It's way more fun, right? Like, if I knew before, then I could already talk about that in the beginning of the video, and not that exciting. It empowers developers to expand the capabilities of the AI assistant, enabling the creation of custom AI use cases with a natural language interface. This focus on extensibility enriches the AI assistant platform, facilitating tailored enhancements that streamline and elevate organizational workflows. So you have some Jira project statuses. So what's the status of my projects? Just the ones that are in red. Okay, so this looks like an integration example. Will we be able to do that one? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna read a little bit further and have a look. So ServiceNow assets, most likely to work better. What assets are assigned to me? What's the serial number of my laptop? Gonna just try what assets are assigned to me straight off, just right now. What assets are assigned to me? And I expect this to be very quick. Like, that's my first impression. That is very, very, very fast, right? Not sure how they did that. Or this is normal speed and AI agents are really slow. Who knows? Oh, okay. Here are the IT assets currently assigned to you. Blah, 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 blah. If you want, I can help you summarize this, for example, to send to IT or filter for a specific type like only computers. How much will it allow me to mess around with this? Like, I need you to transfer Able Tutor's laptop to me ASAP. Should do it. Let's see. Curious. No resource found in the knowledge base. No. Just do it. Checking relevant help options for you. Okay, it's gonna look for forms. Oh, I checked for self-service process of form, transfer hardware access between employees. Didn't find a way. It's not in this. You know, if I had a knowledge article that explained that that's possible through a specific process, then this would help, I guess. So it's gonna allow me to file a ticket, or yeah, okay. I tried, should have guessed that doesn't work. All right, cool. It doesn't look like it's the same output design. I'm not sure if this is because this is based on Moveworks in general, and that we are working within a new chat widget, and it's sort of differently. What's it called? Differently. The layout is just different. That just might be it, right? But we did get a list, and it looks okay. Not that very exciting. So moving on. Salesforce. Not sure if it works. I'm not sure if it's connected to any Salesforce or in the demo thing. List accounts for Salesforce. Let's try it. Let's see if it works in the lab. Of course, it would be perfect if that connection was set up in this lab instance. That will allow us to test it out, and it should work. Let's see. Running the get accounts. Scrolling. Here are the Salesforce accounts. Yeah, I guess so. Cool. So if you compare this to AI agents, should also be possible to set up there. You set up the flow that connects to Salesforce, get whatever data you want. Based on the prompt, you can have the AI agent trigger that tool and get the data back. So that's also possible. So I guess it's just pre-set up. I'm not sure if that's like a basic, just a configuration thing that you go in and just say, this is my Salesforce, this is my whatever. I assume it should be easier, right? So it's not that easy. It's not pre-set up anything in the AI agents unless you buy or have included whatever an agent that has those things, or you have a flow that you got from a store that connects to Salesforce and you just add that one. Yeah, but I'm not sure how they set this up in Moveworks, and I'm excited to see if it's the same way. It's like you just base it off on some workflows and you just say, this is my connector, right? Or if it's different. Okay, so this proves that it connects to different systems. For the lab, this is very IT and HR focused so far, right? So it's pre-connected to some HR systems like Workday, and but it did have Jira up there. So I guess that's the IT part. All right, fun. Moving on. Scrolling past this, Ariba. I don't think I want to try out all of these, but just for fun, let's pick one. Concur, I don't even know what that is. Expense reports, Perplexity. Oh, okay. Let's try just one more. Expense report. Pull up a list of my expense report, and then let's do this one as well. All right, pull up a list. Ooh. What happened? Did it refresh my... All right, try again. Not sure what happened. It refreshed my whole screen. Working on list my expense reports and calling. So that's probably a tool, right? let's figure that out later, if its tools are what they are based on and how we can make our own. I need to be able to make my own tools. I don't want to be restricted in that area, but sure, it's gonna work out. So it's gonna pull out expense reports and details, right? Who cares? Let's move on and take do any of them have airfare? If you don't like that we're just following a lab, you know, you should always start with labs, I think, just to learn how they expect you to use the tool, right? So once you have understood how they expect you to use the tool, after you've done that, then you can start experimenting, right? And if you know me from before, you know I will be experimenting and trying to hack it somehow, not hack it, but, you know, work around the technology to work in a way that I can deliver most value to my clients. Okay, do any of them have airfare? Yeah, these two, fine. Fun. Sort of expected that much. Perplexity AI. So the Perplexity AI use case broadens Moveworks AI system capabilities, providing a diverse knowledge base for inquiries beyond enterprise support. Cool. It aims to deliver accurate, up-to-date information on a range of topics, acting as an intelligent extension that enhances user interactions with you guys. You could probably create less AI-generated text for your documentation, just saying. I forgot what I was reading. I have to split it up. Aims to deliver something cool, acting as something cool, enhances user interactions with information. So you can just say this, right? So enhances user interactions with information beyond the scope of organizational support. Gives you more information from online sources. Here are a few examples of, you know what? Rewrite this documentation text in as short as possible without losing the value of whatever they're trying to say. Extends to Moveworks AI system with a broad up-to-date knowledge base beyond enterprise support. It's still bad, right? No. No. I want you to find the value of that statement and tell me in 10 words or less what it means, so I can replace it in the docs. I can't do that, of course, but you know, someone should have done this a long time ago. Summarize in 10 words or less. I could have been more short in my statement as well, but English is not my main language. It's not even my second language. All right, adds web scale. Up-to-date knowledge beyond Moveworks internal support content. See? Replace, please. Can't do that, but you know. Yeah. Here's a few examples of queries you can use to trigger the Perplexity plugin. Ask Perplexity. Okay, so you can just say ask Perplexity or browse the internet. Perplexity, which countries have made it to space? Let's make our own. Perplexity something. Okay, let's say Perplexity. Will I ever be able to get free no, not free. Perplexity, how can I set up my own local AI in my apartment for less than, let's say, $1,000. See, Perplexity. What can you do? It's probably gonna find me some Temu PCs with subpar GPUs and memory, whatever. It's just a web search, right? So if you Google this or Perplexity this, it's gonna give you something probably you know, poor advice. You know, fine. Let's see what happens. So it's calling Perplexity Internet Search. These are probably the tools. Looking forward to figuring that out. I want to make my own tools, if I can, of course. Or if it's just this might be like predefined tools, but if they're sort of on the fly making tools, can I do that for a Perplexity call? Oh, what's it saying? Ooh, it's a lot. Ultra budget mini AI box, $150. Can run LLMs, stable diffusion, blah blah blah. So YouTube video here. Cool. Okay. Buy used hardware. Okay. In any case, it searched online and found some suggestions of how to set this up. Cool. All right, I like it. You don't need to exit ServiceNow for checking things online. You know, and is that a good thing? You know, it's good and bad at the same time. You know, bad because it's gonna cost money. I don't, and to be just, you know, disclaimer, I don't know the license model for Moveworks. Moving on, I don't know. It's probably something we can hear about 1 month from now. Now it's early April, and 1 month is knowledge. We're gonna hear more about licenses. I hope. I need to know. You know, if I'm gonna explain to customers how to use this, the first question is, what is it gonna cost me? Second question is, will the value be better than the cost? Like, can our savings be higher than the cost, or you understand? So I don't know, but you know, so good and bad things about using this for online searches. Bad thing, if it has the same license model as AI agents, you have sort of a credits, like a bunch of credits, and you just sort of you skim off of those credits until you have nothing. You have to pay more money, so you might not want to use it for everything, right? Good thing, good way to look at it is that you could have more privacy. Like if I use Google in my browser, it stores everything you search for, and that could be bad in many ways, right? You don't want Google to have all of your patterns stored. But do we want ServiceNow to have that? Let's leave it at that. You know, security people, don't call me. I know already. I know. I'm just experimenting, learning. That's it. Moving on. Don't call me. I'll call you. Multilingual support. Yeah, you know, nothing weird. You know, any language model with a good size will understand languages, and you can ask it to translate. And this is not weird. So it says these following languages has been enabled. Sure, you know, sure. Switch my language. I'm not gonna try it out. We know that's gonna work. It's gonna work perfectly. It's great. You know, it's gonna translate. It's gonna change the language, whatever. Moving on. Generative AI capabilities. Draft an email. Also, of course, you know, do we need to do that? We just had it summarize something, and we know that works. If you understand that it's a language model, it's the first sort of part of this process, then we know it can do everything you could do in Gemini, ChatGPT, or whatever language model. It can do all of that. Unless, of course, Moveworks / ServiceNow restricted that. But at the moment, I don't think so. It's gonna allow you to do math through tools. It's gonna allow you to create code, generate code. It's gonna allow you to draft emails. It's gonna allow you to translate. All of that doesn't surprise me. I'm not gonna spend money on it. Generate an image. Now we're talking, right? So if you go into any of the larger LLMs today and say, make me an image, it's gonna do that. And I spoke to some people who were like, you know, the language models are so advanced now they can generate images. And you have to understand what they have to understand. You understand everything. You're so smart. But they had to understand that language models, they don't do that, right? They have to connect to a separate system. You can think of it as a tool, right? So if you go into any of these language models, they already have their own AI models that do specific things, like, you know, like Sora is making videos, which is now shut down for some reason. Maybe they didn't make money on that, or, you know, make these images. So this one is connected to one of those, I guess. And I would like to know, is it using an existing system, or did Moveworks make their own system? That's because that is going to be an interesting question, right? Let's try generate me an image of my sales team visualizing success in a not Picasso style. No, I don't think this is a Picasso style at all. No, if you know Picasso, that's not Picasso style. It has multiple dimensions to it. This is just, you know, sort of a blocky. These parts might be Picasso style, but these are not, right? And you see an extra eye up here, or an arm going up in the air, because it's, if you look at Picasso, you really see movement in the picture. Let's not get into art. Let's just try this out. Generate me an image of my sales team visualizing success in a... Oh, yeah, let's reload. In a science fiction scenario, in the style of... Let's do a Norwegian artist, Edvard Munch. He's the guy who made the picture, you know, called Scream, like on a bridge, like holding his or her head like that. Very popular picture. Let's see what ever is going on, and you know, let's go in and look at the tool it's gonna use. And I want to really want to find out if they just buy this service from someone, or if they have their own custom model. Okay, I tried to generate this using image tool twice, but then searched for any internal forums, and finally invoked the escalation tool to look for other supported help options. None of these paths produce a usable image. Okay, why? Get help below. If you're unlucky, you know, it's a lab instance might just have this part as a simulation, right? So it might not work. So I'm gonna go back and let's see what happens if we do exact same prompt. If this works, it's just sort of a limitation in the labs instance to, you know, not generate too many images, and it's gonna cost them money, and that will point me towards that they are paying for that service. I don't know, you know, you have to make theories, right? If this works, that's my conclusion. If it doesn't work, it's not connected to that service, or it's bugged, or whatever. When do we need this in ServiceNow use cases other than memes and fun? I don't know. Okay, so it did generate something. Is the image you requested? Something blob core Windows Net private or yeah, what is that? Okay, then I want to try one more. Generate an image of what ServiceNow would look like if it was a human being. Let's see. Generate ServiceNow human avatar image. It's really fast at starting to understand the message you put in there. Right? Wow, it's really fast. Generating images, and please work, or we'll just move on, of course. No resource found. Yeah, relevant help options. I'm guessing this didn't work. It didn't work. Weird. You could use GPT for generic AI generated ads not based on your enterprise resources. I want to generate an image of what ServiceNow would look like if it was a human being, but in this instance, image generation tool is failing for this prompt. Can we ask it? What image generation tool is being used? I'm not sure if I can ask it, but I will try. Doesn't hurt, right? Image generation tool being used in the FAQs. Oh, there's an FAQ. I didn't even know. Of course there's one. All right, but I'm not gonna look at it because that's cheating. Oh, let's see. Using the image generation plugin. Okay. Check a call to create images based on your text prompts. Cute golden retriever. As fun as it is, I don't find that these examples are really good to use in the lab, where you would like to encourage customers to pay a lot of money to get Moveworks, and the examples are cute golden retriever. I think it would be much better if you had create an image of a trend graph based on this data, and that might be possible, but we're not there, and this is not good. I don't like it. And there was a reference to the FAQ probably, and I'm gonna have a look, and it's just using the image generation plugin. Not sure. So plugin, can we use plugins? Is that just something we can buy at the store? I don't know. Okay, well, didn't help. Okay, I like that you can make memes in ServiceNow, but a customer is not going to allow people to create images of cute golden retrievers if it's going to cost them money. I promise you that. Unless the cute golden retriever is your business. Okay, moving on. Additional generative AI capabilities. When interacting with a generative AI model, users might request a variety of formatting styles or specific tones to suit different contexts or preferences. Bullet points, corporate tone. This is also not surprising, and it's just a language model feature, basically. Write a poem, song lyrics. This also not very good examples for enterprise labs, in my opinion. My guess is because this is not just for ServiceNow, or wasn't just for ServiceNow at least. This was a cool thing to add, but it's a lazy way to add examples, I think. Talk like a pirate. It's just hello world examples, and it's not worth trying out. We know language models can do this already. And that was the end of AI Assistance Lab Guide. And you have some example queries, fine. And we have some time. We have 20 minutes left. We could do ServiceNow Lab, or we could start on the Agent Studio. So I want to have a look at, V1, V2. Let's start on top. What is this? Can we do this at all? So it doesn't say much about. So I won't be able to set up a lot of things. It's a limited access lab instance, right? Developer labs, developer console. Okay, so this is probably from making the agents within Moveworks. That's not our scope, right? So we are going to look at what we can do within ServiceNow. And my experience is whenever there's an acquisition from ServiceNow and tools like this, everything is moved into ServiceNow. So they're gonna integrate this into, I guess, AI Studio or something, or this takes over and AI Studio features go into this. I'm not sure if they're gonna replace anything from AI Studio, whatever, I have no idea. But I don't think we're gonna spend time on Moveworks as a platform to set up things inside Moveworks, because I'm not sure if that's going to be the future. I know ServiceNow want to move. They always want to move things to the inside eventually. So let's close this for now. And ServiceNow Labs. So let's look at this instead. Access and login guide. We have access already. So let's move on. Create intelligent change request. In this case, we will build the ability for a user to create a change request while using AI to determine the risk. Okay, so this is more or less the same thing, right? So it is set up within Moveworks to work against a ServiceNow instance, because you will be provided access to a ServiceNow sandbox instances in order to do this, meaning is not within our scope, because we are talking about how this is going to work within ServiceNow. And our this one, let me go and show you this, right? So we have the instance and we have this chat already there, right? So this is where we need to work, well, at least at this level, right? Until we get to the rest. I'm more interested in finding out how can we set things up for these plugins or the integrations. How do we set up the connection to let's say Workday? You know, there's one in the labs, but if a customer buys Moveworks or the license for which includes Moveworks, and I think it's going to be Employee Works when it's integrated into ServiceNow. It's something I heard. Not sure if it's true. If it's inside there, do we get some of these connectors included? Do we have to buy them separately? How can I set up my own custom connector? You know, maybe my customer has a custom server on their network, like on premise. How can I set up a connector from the Moveworks AI agent through the mid server to reach it? And you know, as you can see, this is not now assist window. It's a new one, right? So Moveworks, this is probably remote hosted, I would guess. It's on the Moveworks. It's just iframe more or less, right? So which might explain why it's so fast, but at the same time it does have access to ServiceNow data. So if we play around with that idea, now assist is out of the box, sort of. It's on the ServiceNow system already, and you have to use the integrations in the tools from ServiceNow somewhere. But this one, maybe it is just an iframe or like a widget that is including something which is not hosted on ServiceNow at all. That means that getting the data from ServiceNow requires an integration to ServiceNow first, and then it uses that part to talk to the connectors and get the data from other places. And I think figuring out and knowing how that works is very important. And for me as an architect, the most important thing to know first, because I need to know where the data flows. I work with customers that unless you can explain to them where the data flows and how, they are not allowed to even start using it, right? If you work in specific sectors like defense or some government parts of the government sector as well, if you cannot line out the entire architecture, then they will never use it, right? So I need to understand that, and I need to understand if my assumption that this is an iframe now, and it's just including something from the Moveworks server. If that is going to be the way ServiceNow uses this, later, what is the roadmap for that? How secure is the data, and so on. It's difficult to explain to a customer how it works unless you know. And after the video, I'm gonna go through some of the documentation on my own time and figure that out, and see if it's there. If it's there, that part 3 of this video will be I'll explain those findings as well. Not sure if we should move on through there's no more labs for the AI assistant, right? And I'm not gonna go through these and look how that works, because it might require me to log into some Moveworks user interface on their server and set things up there. And until I understand how we are supposed to work with this moving forward, when it's a ServiceNow product, until I know, I'm not gonna do that, because it might produce a video content for YouTube that in 2 weeks means nothing, right? If I show you that in 2 weeks, like, yeah, everything is moved into ServiceNow, okay, then people have been watching a video and it makes no sense, right? There's a roadmap. Let's have a look at that instead. Release notes 26. So, okay, but still think that this might be just for Moveworks in general. Maybe it's not related to ServiceNow, but let's see. Oh, there's a few things like images and plugin responses. Upgrade agent architect to Gemini 3.1. It now runs and used. Okay, so they're talking about which models they're using. That's interesting. Okay, so let's have a look here. I think we've done the labs. I think there's no more labs to do for the AI assistant, right? So the next thing we'll try out is when we learn how to go down into the details, right? How can we work with plugins? How can we make these tools more specific? How can I set up my own integrations? How can I set up the existing integrations for Workday and Jira and whatever? Figure that out. I'll look into that before the next video, and we'll find out together after that. But they're using Gemini 3.1, so that might be a static thing. Can we change it? Like in AI agents, you can change it in ServiceNow, but can we change this one? Images, sure, that's fun, but for now I don't see the point. And Python script action support, that was cool. So for it to make tools on the fly is both cool and also a bit scary. So how can we make sure that these tools that are generated on the fly is not going to be a risk introduced into the enterprise? So that's one thing we need to look at also. LDAP actions. So if you don't know what that is, if you have an on-premise AD server, you need to pull. So if you have these cloud-based like Azure servers, you can have it push users to ServiceNow and set everything up. And I love it because it puts the sort of the responsibility on the people who's actually sitting on the master data for user provisioning. That's great, right? And it's less work for me because I would love to set up things like that, but it also creates like a what's it called, accountability. So it makes me accountable when someone else is actually responsible. So, but LDAP is the other way around. Like you request to pull the data from somewhere, and it's more normal in my experience. So people have on-premise user provisioning systems like an AD server sitting in the corner, and you have ServiceNow call it and pull data out and using the LDAP protocol. So we have LDAP actions, securely query and update on-premise LDAP and Active Directory systems using standard operations. Cool. Yeah, I'd love to see that work. Really hope so. Setting it up is It's not really hard once you get into it, but it's a bit of a pain to maintain, to be honest. You know, if there's a change in the AD, you will have to go in and change everything. Not everything, but you know. Enterprise search, decoupled indexing and live search configurations. All right. Configure content indexing and live search for. Okay, so that's the SharePoint thing. Cool. Yeah, lots of my customers, they have questions about how we can use SharePoint. They want to have their articles there, or they want to have files. They want to have how can ServiceNow use it. You can already set up AI search to index SharePoint. The files will stay at SharePoint, and it will just adjust the target. So if you click the search result, it'll be forwarded to SharePoint. It has pros and cons, you know, another time. Let's talk about that. Zendesk. Moving on. Moveworks setup API. Playground upgrades. You can now test API requests using built-in connectors. Yep. New ticketing setup. Guided wizard-based experience. Again, not sure if this is just for the Moveworks platform, how this is gonna be implemented in ServiceNow. No idea. Ticket viewer, sure, that's ServiceNow as ticket viewer, right? Also. And some release notes, architect panel, love it. Data mapper, cool. I'm not gonna read everything, you know. You can go to docs.moveworks.com and you can read all of this. It's there. It's open for everyone. Just having a little look to see if there's something that's relevant for ServiceNow. So new in January was AI Assistant Live Agent improvements. We've rolled out some improvements, including, and this is relevant. This is what we have been testing out. Using your assistant's image in Live Agent. Okay, what does that mean? Using your assistant's image in Live Agent. Okay, so is that just, you know, this icon? That's there? Oh, cool feature, guys. Improved experience when connecting to a live agent. Okay. It's probably great feature. 10 enterprise search, 10 next gen or enterprise search connectors available. Okay, rolled out connectors for 10 new content systems. Yeah, I want to see how that works, to be honest. To read more about content connectors here. Let's do that. It's important, right? So connector box, that's for files, right? Confluence, important. Google Drive, not that important. I don't see customers want to use Google Drive for anything. But fine. Microsoft OneDrive, same. Outlook, ServiceNow Cloud, permissioned HTML content, articles and catalog items and permissioned file attachments. Indexed requires installation of update sets. Okay, is generally available. SharePoint online files. You have these in ServiceNow also, right? You can have them as plugins, but it's basically just flows connecting through the REST interface, REST API interfaces, and you can get data, right? Slack, yeah, sure. Blah blah blah. Okay, how do we set it up? Next gen. ServiceNow is your. Yeah, we know what ServiceNow is. Authentication, yeah, we know. Yeah, don't use basic authentication. Yeah, permission enforcement. Honest user criteria. Yeah, sure, you should do that. API usage. It uses the table APIs. Okay, sure. Okay. Not for everything, I hope, but you know. Content types. Yeah. Prerequisites. You need admin access. You need. It just update sets. Really? To install a module, you can. Okay, so they basically just made a connector to Moveworks through update sets. So they made something in ServiceNow, stored it as an update set, and here you go. We could try that. Let's do that next time. we could try to install one of those and have a look, to see what it looks like. Maybe if it's a flow, that's how they create these connectors from ServiceNow, most likely for everything, but who knows? We all know about update sets. We know how that works. Creating a service account. Oh, okay. I don't care about these things, to be honest. What else can we have a look at while we are here? Capabilities, web chat, platform experiences, best practices, building on Moveworks. So this is gonna change, right? It's gonna be like telling you how to set things up inside of Moveworks, and I just don't have enough information, right? So now if you look up here in the corner, it says Moveworks from ServiceNow, because ServiceNow has acquired the platform, obviously, to integrate it into ServiceNow. But are they going to allow Moveworks to exist as a separate product for other people to buy licenses and use Moveworks outside of ServiceNow? That is an interesting question, and I don't know. If the answer is yeah, they'll keep making AI agent capabilities for other systems or as a standalone system, but it's also being integrated into ServiceNow. If that is the case, then there's a good reason to look into these ways of setting things up. But at the moment, I don't know if that's the case. You know what? I'm done with the labs. Let's just end the stream here. It's not a stream. Let's end the recording here and have some conclusions and thoughts. So my main conclusion, same as in part 1, it is really fast. I think it's not running on ServiceNow. I think that so far, in the labs at least, it's including part of Moveworks directly, and that's why it's fast. It might have their local language model, which makes it really, really fast, right? So you might know ServiceNow AI agents. When you call a language model, you are basically calling an integration somewhere else. It's not on your instance, obviously, right? But if you do it this way, that I'm just guessing, but if it is an include, the whole widget is just including stuff that is on the Moveworks side, and they have their locally installed language model, that will make it much, much faster. But at the same time, my takeaway from this test is, what does that mean in case of data flow and architectural? I need that diagram, right? So I'm gonna seek out ServiceNow and see if I can get some more information so I can share with you all, because it's very, very, very important from an architect's point of view. The chat is very cool. It can do everything Now Assist can do, basically, if we can make our own connectors and set up our integrations and do prompt adjusting and everything. It depends. So with that and those questions, let's let that sink in a little bit, and I will make a part 3 of this soon, but I might wait until I get my own permanent access. Might not be permanent, but a more an instance that is not a lab instance, right? I want to see how to set it up from scratch. Do I have to do that? And if that is the case, I'll do that with you guys, so you can learn from it and have a much easier start once you are going to get your access and start working with Moveworks in ServiceNow. Yeah. So if you're going to Knowledge in Las Vegas in May, I'm going to be there all week. So reach out if you want to have a chat, and even if you just want to have a glass of water and talk about life, I'm all about that. Get in touch, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. And that was it for today. ServiceNow adventures behind us. Yes. Yeah. Tune in next time for more fun.